Imagine it, feel it, believe it. That was Neville Goddard's formula. And boy, does it work. I created a meditation to guide you through those 3 steps to imagine, feel, and believe anything you want to draw into your life. Check it out at hightimelinebooks.com, and don't forget you can get all 3 of the prosperity meditations in a bundle, 3 for the price of 2. hightimelinebooks.com. Welcome in to the first full week of the first new year. Thomas Miller here on January 6th. I hope your holidays were well. This is the first time that we've spoken since the holidays, and I'd like to thank Liz Grace, Kristin, and Elisa for filling in for me. And in fact, they did such a great job that I said, "Hey, guys," and they said, "Hey, Thomas." And we said, would you guys like to continue this for, let's say, 90 days and see how it goes to do the days that they do? So we're going to keep it going, and that helps me tremendously be able to develop some new things for 2025. High vibe in 2025 is what we're doing around here, so we're going to do that, and I am loving that you guys are loving their contributions. I had a guy tell me some years ago that possibly something I should consider as kind of a mantra for my purpose and my future was to help make dreams come true for others. Well, we didn't know astrology back then when the guy said that, but if you think about Neptune glued to the sun in 5th house of dreams and creativity, it makes sense, doesn't it? Well, I know they love contributing to you, and we're going to just keep that going for a little while. So Lizzie will be here with us tomorrow. This is being recorded a little bit early. Obviously, I can't get up at that early in the morning, especially back here on the backside time zone. But we have a big day today. This is the day that the U.S. government certifies the election, and we have Mercury in a square to Neptune. And we have retrograde Mars, which has been a troublemaker retrograde Mars, moving into Cancer, a sign that it doesn't like. I know a lot of us are kind of just ditching the news right now, but this is going to be the big story because this could be a hurdle to the unfolding of the other events around January 20th. So I don't know. I truly have no idea, but I just know that, we do have some obstacles. And remember, we talked about this on New Year's Day, that there were challenges in the chart and there were good signs in the chart. That's exactly what we still have. It could go both ways, or either way. Now, both of those aspects just mentioned happened before 9 a.m. this morning. This certification in Washington, D.C. happens at 1 p.m. I took a quick look at a consultation chart. This was a different way of looking at things, but I used the United States Sibley chart, and I put it over 1 p.m. in Washington, D.C., the transit chart, the sky overhead. That's the Evangeline Adams and Robert Glasscock version of the consultation chart, and I didn't see anything just jump out. There were a few things, but 1 o'clock is when they marked that people were convening last year, and of course we know what happened then. So you could look at it a couple of different ways. You could flip it around and put the United States chart first and the transits second if you'd like to look at it, or you could do what I did and do a consultation chart. I would use 1 p.m. That was at least as consistent with last year as possible. If you put the United States chart first and the transits on top of it, the time is not as important, only really with the moon. But anyway, those are just things that are going on now that we have to keep an eye on. Still have more positive aspects than challenging, although today the challenging aspects have caught up. I see 12 easy or smooth aspects to 11 challenging aspects. Jupiter and Saturn are pulling away from each other. That's a square. Today, the moon in Aries is in a square with Capricorn. That's an angular square, and that's the luminaries. And then Mercury is in a double square. First of all, it's at the bending of the nodes of the moon. It's right there at the peak of the nodes. So the north node and south node are square to Mercury. And then Neptune is close enough to consider it a square as well. And then if you wanted to stretch out a little farther, you could include Chiron as a square to Mercury. And then, of course, the big opposition in the chart is Mars is opposite Pluto, and that's going to be that way for quite a while. And as of 5:45 this morning, Mars has entered Cancer. And on the positive side, that mystic rectangle from last week is still there, and the kite is not, but we do have enough trines and sextiles that basically everything, including Uranus, that we mentioned last week, are all in positive aspects with each other. So however you're feeling this energy, just know this is not you. And I know you are talking to people, they're feeling it, your friends and family are feeling it. We're on tense, look at what all happened on New Year's Eve. And honestly, this is what I've been anticipating. So those of you who want to walk your high vibe in 25, you've been on a high timeline path, you want to live your highest and best for this age. You want to say, "Here am I, Lord, send me." You want to be of service. I have thought that one of the primary things that we would have to do through these years ahead of us is to hold the space and to be able to point to a new way of living, a conscious way of living. And that's not that you're reading tomorrow's newspaper. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that we are connected and grounded to our source, to something bigger than ourselves, to the all that is, to God, to our higher power. And we know that we are part of that source, and we know that we can co-create with that source. And we know that higher energy is better than lower energy. And we know that we are responsible for our own selves. If you wanted to kind of put my definition of what conscious living is all about, it's executing those kinds of things. We follow our intuition. To us, prayer is talking back to source, and intuition is listening to source. And let's face it, the astrology of this year and beyond is going to be challenging. Ray Merriman talks about it in Forecast 2025, and I know I've mentioned it. Yes, I narrated it, and I do get royalties for it, and I would appreciate you buying it, but I want you to buy it for your own good, not mine. I want you to understand, as Ray puts it, with his 60-plus years of astrology experience in studying the markets and cycles of human history and behavior, what he thinks about it. That's worthy information. But I think our game plan is to hold the space. We have to hold it in ourselves first, so we have to stay strong. And the other thing, just prudence with this kind of energy is keep your head on a swivel. Be watching, be prudent, be diligent. We just don't know. And we've already seen things are happening. So, look, that's our mission, holding space. And with that, we are going to stay strong for our friends, for our family, for our kids, for our spouse. We're going to hold the space. We're going to get through it because we chose to. And we chose to be conscious and kind of be able to read tomorrow's newspaper a little. I hope this helps, and I'm sending you all kinds of love. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. We'll keep watching and seeing how the stars guide. Thank you so much. Liz Grace be here tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye.